Donald Trump's legal fees are piling up, approaching $600 million, as you see there on your screen. And a new piece in The Atlantic saying that, quote, his empire currently faces perhaps its greatest threat so far. Trump still trying to secure that massive bond in his civil fraud trial. New York Attorney General Letitia James saying this.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
Joining me now is David Graham, staff writer at The Atlantic. He wrote the piece that we just referenced. David, it's good to have you here. Look, let's speak frankly, right? How dire is Trump's financial situation at this point?
You know, I understood it was dire, and then speaking with experts, I was surprised by how dire they saw the situation. It's not just that there's this huge sum he has to get, but it's that he really has very few avenues from which to solve it. You know, he has to get a bond. He doesn't have a whole lot of cash on hand. His chances of appeal are low. Really, on all fronts, he faces a lot of dangers and not a lot of escape routes.
And, you know, David, during a GOP debate in 2015, then Fox News host Chris Wallace confronted Donald Trump about how his companies had declared bankruptcy in the past. And the exchange between these two men was heated. Take a quick listen.
Trump corporations, casinos and hotels have declared bankruptcy 4 times over the last quarter century.
I have never gone bankrupt, by the way. I have never. But out of hundreds of deals,
but sir,
excuse me,
that's your line. But your companies have gone bankrupt.
What am I saying? Out of hundreds of deals that I've done, hundreds, on 4 occasions, I've taken advantage of the laws of this country.
It may not have been the personal bankruptcy, David, but it was still bankruptcy at the hands of a man who declares himself to being such a financial genius. I understand personal bankruptcy is not going to be an option for Donald Trump because it's not brand on point, right? It's going to cause too much damage to that brand. But he's a huge judgment debtor now, David. I mean, it's not just legal fees, it's the judgments themselves.
That's right. And, you know, bankruptcy would be challenging for him because it's against his personal brand. It's challenging because they're debts you simply can't discharge through bankruptcy. Fraud is one of those. It's also challenging because he'd have to open up his books to do a bankruptcy. And so I think that's not an alluring option. It's the sort of thing he would only go to if he really had no other choices. But it's right. The sums he's facing are just so large. And we know that he doesn't have the money on hand because his lawyers said so in court. In his deposition last year, he said he had $400 million cash on hand and more coming in every day, he insisted. But then in court, his lawyers asked for the bond to be reduced to something like $100 million because it's impossible to come up with that much money.
And David, we've seen him go through the hoop jumping to be able to secure a $100 million, just shy of $100 million surety bond in the E. Jean Carroll second defamation verdict. That first defamation verdict, Trump himself had to put the cash up himself, $5.6 million to be able to chase down an appeal in that verdict. Do you think, in your opinion, that Donald Trump's going to be able to find a surety willing to help him post the bond to appeal that civil fraud judgment?
You know, never say never, but I think there are a lot of challenges to that. There are a lot of reasons why a surety company wouldn't want to be involved. You know, Trump is a somewhat toxic client. We've seen some backlash the last couple of days to Chubb, the parent company of the bonding company that bonded him on the Jean Carroll case. And this number is just so large. People know that Trump is not always good for his money. That's partly why we're here in this court case. People know that he'd be hard to collect from anyway, since he could be the president. He could use that as a way to try to get out of it. So there's a lot of reasons why a company just wouldn't want to do business in this situation.